This episode of Blacktop Banter is brought to you by Crafco, the world's leading manufacturer of packaged pavement preservation materials and equipment for the asphalt industry. Learn more at crafco.com. Hey everybody, and welcome to Blacktop Banter. I'm here for another episode, and we are moving right along. Hopefully you've been enjoying some of the coverage that we had from Con Expo and those podcasts, as well as some of the guests that we've been mixing in here as well. From outside the asphalt industry and within the asphalt industry all around. And today I have a guest. Jonathan and I were really trying to meet up at Con Expo, but he was in and out, and I, as I have probably told everybody, I put on like a lot of miles at Con Expo, running between booths and back and forth. And some of the stuff, when you schedule it way ahead of time, you're able to hit those marks pretty well. But when you try to adapt on the fly, sometimes things get mixed up, but we're very persistent, which is a good thing, because here we are, right? Connected still, even though it didn't work out at Con Expo. So, John, I'm going to let you introduce yourself to the listenership, and we can go from there.
Sure. First of all, Marvin, thank you very much for being persistent, and I'm glad to be here with you today. As you mentioned, my name is Jonathan. My last name is Klorfein. I am the Chief Customer Officer for Labor Finders International. We are a temporary staffing company in the blue-collar space. We provide heavy and light industrial temporary help, unskilled, semi-skilled, and skilled labor. I've been with Labor Finders for the past 23 plus years, and Labor Finders has been around since 1975 as one of the leading companies in temporary staffing space.
All right, and I did see the booth at Con Expo where you guys were set up after we weren't able to meet, and I was on my way out. I was like, well, that's where I should have been at one point here at the expo. But can you tell us briefly about your experience at Con Expo, as well as where it's going to be a few years before I'm going to get to ask anybody again?
Sure. I thought Con Expo was an outstanding trade show. I believe there were 120 plus people attending from all over the world in all different types of areas within the construction field. And it was very good for us at Labor Finders to see both current customers and hopefully prospective customers who use our services in the states that we currently operate.
Did you happen to speak with a lot of contractors who expressed kind of the consensus that a lot of us are in the construction world of labor's an issue, right? Finding labor in certain areas, especially certain parts of the country, is more difficult than other parts, and the quality of labor that we're looking for in the industry. Did you kind of get that consensus at Con Expo from the people that you spoke with that were contractors as well?
Yeah, I have to laugh, Marvin, because practically everyone I spoke to was complaining about the shortage in workers, not only just in the number of workers that they are getting to come in their doors, but the quality as well. But it really was across the country. It seemed like and also over in Canada and other countries as well. It seems like everyone is experiencing the same issues. That is finding quality labor. It's a problem today. As we know, as you probably have seen, with the Chamber of Commerce statistics, there are approximately 10 million jobs and only about 5.7 million workers available. At least that's the last statistics I saw. So, almost twice as many jobs as there are workers today.
Yeah, and you can feel that. I mean, even without the numbers and the statistics, you can feel that, right? It's kind of like it's an atmosphere, right? That's in our industry and in the construction industries in general. It's similar to, if you aren't running your furnace or your air conditioner and you wake up in the morning and it's hot, you're like, it's probably hot outside, right? Or if you're cold, you're like, it's probably cold outside. It's just a general feeling that you happen to get, especially when you put your feelers out for, whether you're seasonal or not seasonal, of, hey, we're seeking employees. And when it's tough, you're like, okay, that's the atmosphere. And then when people are coming and they're not qualified, you're like, okay, that's going to be the atmosphere, right? So I know that you have some great tips for us, 5 tips on how we can help alleviate some of this issue. Before we jump into that, we're going to take a brief word from our sponsor on this, and we'll be back in just a moment. Now that spring is here, it won't be long before we're back out in the field. And a key part of being successful this year is making sure we have the products we know and trust to get the job done right each and every time. That's why we use Crafco for all of our crack and joint sealant needs. Crafco products are safe, easy to use, and consistent in their quality and performance, so we spend less time troubleshooting and more time building jobs. Plus, Crafco's industry-leading service and support team means they're ready to assist with any questions we do have along the way. So, if you're ready to ditch the hassle and the headaches this year, visit Crafco.com and give their products a try. I know you'll be glad you did. That's Crafco.com. From their iconic hot boxes to their infrared machines, and now the KM Blacktop Banner Edition seal coating unit, KM International has established itself as one of the toughest and longest lasting equipment manufacturers in the asphalt world. Check out KM International on all forms of social media, and be sure to see all they have to offer at kminternational.com. Recently unveiling their electric line of rollers and plate compactors, Dynapac continues to make an impact in the asphalt industry, literally. They lead the way in innovation when it comes to compaction. For their full product lineup, visit Dynapac.com. Dynapac, your partner on the road ahead.
Hey there, Blacktop Banner fans. This is Hayden. I am the co-founder of Spot On Site, a mobile app that's going to help you guys scope jobs faster, win more work, and communicate seamlessly with your customers and with your team. We're asphalt contractors ourselves. We run an asphalt paving company based out of Denver, Colorado. So we built this mobile app to help you guys out, to ensure that you guys are no longer losing work because of poor proposal presentation, and you're no longer losing money because of inefficiencies and punch list items and all the headaches that we go through as contractors. So check us out. We have a free 14-day trial on spotonsiteapp.com. You guys can try it out, and we'd love for you guys to get started. We know this is a game-changing app that will help you measure and mark your locations and your parking lots, document using timestamped photos, videos, and comments, and send professional-looking reports to your customers. Check us out, spotonsiteapp.com.
All right, we are back, and we're going to jump into the 5 tips with John about... John, what's the title for this? I don't want to say tips, but I think they're great pieces of advice. I was able to review them beforehand, and I think they're essential to finding who we're looking for. I'm going to let you divulge the title of it and then break into that. And, of course, I'm going to ask some questions.
Sure. I think tips is as good as any description is what I'm about to share with you. These are 5 things that we feel at Labor Finders can be done immediately by companies to try to help their chances of getting qualified workers in this highly competitive market. I already mentioned how difficult, hearing folks say it's difficult getting workers. And, in our business, it's always a balancing act between finding companies who need workers and finding the workers to fill those needs. And in the time that I've been working with Labor Finders, I haven't seen it so one-sided as we have today. We are finding, we have the work. We, are like anyone else trying to find workers. And so we're providing these 5 tips that anyone can use today and hopefully increase their chances of getting the work they need. And if it's okay with you, I'll go ahead and get started. The first thing, okay, thank you. The first thing is, we recommend that there are tight job descriptions. You want to be specific when you're defining the roles, the job roles and responsibilities. And, it's especially relevant today in today's environment. job seekers, there obviously there are, more, there are more jobs than job seekers. So you want to try to capture their interest immediately. If you use, too many words, and, you're going to lose the folks. They're going to move on to the next job description or next job, availability, and you've lost the chance at possibly having recruited a very good worker. The second thing is that we think that you should be explicit with your requirements on what the job needs, the skills, the qualifications, the certifications for the position. You don't want to waste the candidate's time, or that of your own recruiting, time as well. For jobs, trying to recruit for jobs that and recruit someone who really doesn't qualify for that position. They can move on. There are other jobs for them. You can make sure that you get somebody that fills the need that you're looking for. The third tip is responding quickly. If you're hesitant and waiting, you get somebody's resume, or you get an interest, and you sit on it for a couple of days, chances are that applicant is moving on. They're not going to sit around and wait. They've got probably one to maybe two, maybe more options and offers to go. So you want to make sure that you respond quickly as possible. In the fourth tip that I'm going to share in this environment and in this industry, especially in an industry that has, exposure for safety, make sure that you're committed to safety, and don't just talk the talk. You want to walk it too. You want to make sure that you have a safe environment, something that's secure, and you want to commit yourself as a company to the applicant safety, and make sure that they're cared for and they know that they're working for a caring employer. And then finally, at the risk of sounding self-serving, we recommend that you use a staffing service. If it's not Labor Finders, sure, a staffing service that is, upstanding. A company that belongs to a professional organization. We happen to belong to the American Staffing Association, and we're very proud of that. And we've got the history. But, we believe that, companies in the construction field should do what they do best, which is build things. Let a staffing company do what they do best, which is find workers and take care of the headaches that come along with employing people. So those are our 5 tips. And if you start those today, hopefully your chances of getting somebody are pretty good.
Well, so I wrote them down. Let me break through them real quick, and I'm going to pick your brain a little bit about them. Some of them, obviously, the nice thing about Blacktop Banter as a media company and myself as the host is the fact that we own 2 asphalt companies, right, as well. And that really allows me to put myself in the shoes of who you're servicing, right, when it comes to that. One of the things is tight job descriptions, right? That's number one. I think that, the hard part that I've always come up with, and we have employees now that have been here multiple years, thankfully, that we don't run into that problem, is the fact that sometimes those job descriptions change. And it's like, is it okay for in the job description there be part of the description that says, hey, your job description could change over time as our company scales and grows? Is that okay to put into a tight job description?
Not only is it okay, I would say that's probably recommended, because you want to be, like I mentioned earlier, honest with your candidates. I think they would most likely appreciate the fact that you're being honest, and that it could change, depending on how the job moves. So yeah. I would say yes, that is perfectly fine, and I would go ahead and recommend doing that.
Perfect. And that kind of rolls into tip number 2, right? Where you express the expectations and certifications and what all the qualifications are expected as an employee and the employer. That discretion of that first tight job description of saying, hey, I need somebody who, even though right now this job doesn't fit that mold or certification, as it expands and as that job description could change, we need to know that you're certified or capable of taking this on as well, right? For a chance to move up. That's okay as well, correct?
Absolutely. You want somebody who can grow with you, grow with the job needs, and grow with your company.
Yeah. And how difficult do you find it, rolling into tip number 3, how difficult do you find it for companies to respond quickly? For me, if you ask me in January, I'm probably going to respond pretty quick, right? If we're like, hey, yeah, there's not a lot going on, we're doing paperwork, and any break from paperwork, I'm going to respond to quickly, no matter what it is in January,
Sure.
February. But in the summer, in the heat of the battle, a lot of times, some of the owner operators, they fall short on that. How big of a percentage of opportunity missed do you think that is, for people who don't, John?
So I can't give you an exact percentage, but I would say a fair number of companies, probably miss out because they're not responding quickly. I would say, well, I don't even want to guesstimate, but a good number of companies are missing out, which goes to my 5th point, and I hope I'm not jumping on you too quickly, but
No.
you're doing other things, so you're not going to have the time to respond as quickly as, say, as temporary staffing company. That's what we do each and every day. That's all we do. So, that's why we recommend, using
Yeah.
a professional in that area.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, it's delegation, right? I mean, within your company as a business owner, delegation is one thing that you focus on quite a bit in order to take not only stress off of you, but to be efficient as well, right? So essentially, when we bring tip number 4 and 5 together with safety and secure and a caring company, you can delegate safety, right? We can hire safety companies to come in and take a look at what we're doing and what to put here and what to put there, so that we can express to potential employees, hey, not only are we paying attention to this, but actually we have delegated it completely to somebody, whether it's safety supervisor or we just made a recent connection with a fire protection equipment company out of Dubuque for our other company, Dubuque Asphalt Maintenance, where they're like, hey, we could take a look at your rigs, and if there's anything there for fire protection, we can make some recommendations. We have the products to sell those to you. That way your employees feel safe when they're with one of the service vehicles as well. So similar to, as you were saying, delegating the staffing, right, part of it, you can do that with something else. And why would you not, right? I mean, if you are a business owner and you notice that, hey, I'm having an issue here, it'd be the same as if you had an empty service vehicle, and you're like, I need to hire somebody to drive this vehicle, right, to be productive. Same way as if we need employees and you realize that you can't do it all yourself as well. So one thing I wanted to be able to get out while you're still on here is where people can find labor finders on the internet or in general.
Sure. You can find us at www.laborfinders.com. On our site, we've got location directory. It's a pull down. You look up your state, you look up the city, the closest city that you're working in, where your job site is, and it'll give you the closest office to that job site. And you simply need to call the office. You want to be explicit with what you're looking for, what the qualifications are, what you expect out of the workers, and you'll get a price, an all-inclusive price over the phone. That includes all taxes, insurances, all the burdens associated with hiring, one hourly price, workers' compensation, and it's as easy as that. We've got a 4-hour minimum. You can use one person for 4 hours, or as many people as you want for as long as you want. But www.laborfinders.com.
Cool. Very, very neat. Well, John, I really appreciate you joining us here today on Blacktop Banter as we rounded about very great tips and an obvious glaring issue within the construction space and in the construction industry. So I really appreciate you bringing that information to us today.
Marvin, it's my pleasure. It's a pleasure talking to you, and good luck to you.
Hey, thank you very much. And for all the listeners and viewers for Blacktop Banter, as always, you can jump over to blacktopbanter.com. There you can find a drop-down menu with what we bring to the table as far as marketing, advertising, and of course, don't forget about the Blacktop Banner Success Group, a group of contractors who get together on Zoom calls a few times a month. There's a 24/7 chat group in there as well as a great vendor program that we have to bring great discounts to the members of the Blacktop Banner Success Group. You can find the link and pricing and everything there. We would encourage you to take a look at it. Thank you once again, John, for joining us here on Blacktop Banter. And as always, we speak asphalt. Peace. We've had our 800 network phone number on the side of our trucks and equipment for a while now. And having branding power over your competition makes it easy for people to remember. And all the calls go directly to you. Plus, when you join the 800 Pavement Network, you're joining over 300 pavement contractors who have generated over $2 billion in combined total sales. You can call 1-800-PAVEMENT or you can go to the website 1-800-PAVEMENT.com and you'll find them. If you've been listening to the show for a while, you know that I've been using Stencil Plus for years. They have everything I need for line striping jobs, from multi-piece stencils, stencils with different thicknesses, stencils for the big box stores, custom stencils, and they have free shipping on all orders within the U.S. Plus, for a limited time, friends of this podcast can save an additional 10% on all orders at Stencil Plus. Just use code BB10. That's BB10, as in Blacktop Banter, at stencilplus.com. From spray tips, pour pots, street brooms and handles, flagging tape, chalk lines, and more, Liberty Supply is a one-stop shop for all your asphalt tool and equipment supply needs. Visit their website at libertysupply.biz or call 800-397-9907 and tell them Marvin sent you.